Aloha everyone and welcome and thank you for being here in Lahaina. Today we have some very special guests. We wanted to bring them up to the microphone in a little bit, but for today's purposes, we'll have each of them speak. If you can hold your questions to the end, we'll do a moderated Q&A period. We are aiming for the airport shortly after, so I will ask you to be efficient in your questions. We'll do our best to help you. For the record, I'm Mahina Martin for the County of Maui. I'm the Chief of Communications and Public Affairs. Today you'll be hearing from, and I don't think you'll need them, normally we do the spelling of names and sharing their titles, but they are no strangers to Hawaiʻi. Today we have, with Mayor Bissen, we'll have Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke. We have from the island of Hawaiʻi, our longtime friend and supporter, Mayor Mitch Roth. They all are, of course. From Oahu, from the city and county of Honolulu, Mayor Rick Blangiardi. The other Rick, actually we have two. And also joining us, our dear friend from Kauai, Mayor Derek Kawakami. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and start. Today, we'll have a little bit of an oversight of what's going on. We'll also be sharing with you an announcement that Mayor Bissen would like to announce today. I'm going to turn over this microphone in a moment. I just want to make sure we promise to live stream at 2 o'clock. We're about a couple of minutes early, but are we good to go on the live stream? I just want to double check. Mia, we're good? Okay, at this time, let me call to the podium Mayor Rick Bissen.
Aloha winala kako. So I just wanted to first say how grateful I am that the mayors and the lieutenant governor were able to join us today. This is the first time we were all able to assemble as a group of mayors on Maui since August 8th. So it meant a lot. You probably all know that they have been supporting us throughout this response, recovery, and as we begin to rebuild. As well as the state lieutenant governor, of course, was acting governor on the day of the 8th, and she and I spoke quite a bit. She sent a lot of support our way, and obviously Governor Green, who you folks have all heard from throughout these last couple of months. So again, my thanks to our partners and our friends, and really our ohana. We have a long road ahead of us, and so I would like to also point out some news. We had a phased opening, started October 8th in what we called Phase 1. I'm announcing today Phases 2 and 3 will be combined and will open at the same time, November 1st. We announced the date of November 1st with a lot of discussion with our Lahaina advisory team, with the Red Cross, and with some of our partners. We know that there is a concern over housing for our displaced and impacted families. We are assured by the Red Cross that their housing will not be in jeopardy with the opening of this date of November 1st. That's number one. Number two, the issue of childcare, especially early childcare, is a concern to our families who would need to return to work. And we also have a commitment from some of our partners to work on that piece as well. And of course, getting back to work. There's been an expression from families and workers that there is a sense of readiness. Now, this isn't for everyone. Those that are not ready to go back to work should contact their employers and continue to seek the help and the attention that they need. But for others, we are announcing November 1st, Phases 2 and 3. So from Kahana to the Hyatt in Kanapali. Some of you probably know that people have opened on their own as well. We had asked for this consideration, if you will, compromise request throughout this time. But at this point, again, we had some, I would say, fairly good results of the October 8th opening. The interaction between our visitors and our local community has been positive, and that also went into our decision as well. So I will be available for questions after that. At this time, I will call on Mayor Blangiardi if he wishes to come and say a few words about today.
Thank you, Mayor Bissen. Good afternoon, everybody, and aloha. We're here today to show our support for the people of Maui. but especially to Mayor Bissen and his administration and everything that they've been through since August 8th. I don't think I've ever used the words heartbreaking and tragic and devastating so much as I have over the last couple of months, and trying to even describe an emotional feeling for all that's transpired here. What was truly the unimaginable is now left in its wake, an incredible reality. So we're here to say, certainly on behalf of people of the city and county of Honolulu, all of our support to whatever we can possibly do to help everyone here in Maui. We're all in this together. If there's anything else that gets said today, we feel this. It's not just a Maui situation. This is for all of us, and we'll all be impacted by this. We recognize it's a long road ahead. It's only just begun in our recovery. But in that spirit, we want people of Maui to know that they're not alone. We're all in this together. I've been really encouraged by what I've seen today already early on in the recovery efforts. I think the work of the Coast Guard was inspiring, to say the least, on what they're getting done with the harbor. To walk into a building like this and see all these various resources here to help people, it's humbling, it's heartwarming, and it's a great reminder of who we are as a people. So I'm honored to be here today, but nonetheless very saddened for what's happened. This has just simply been, I think, in my lifetime, the most terrible thing I could ever see up close and personal. Given my background, I've looked at a lot of media over the years, a lot of video, a lot of pictures, but it's nothing like actually being there. And to have walked through the devastation today, that we were afforded the opportunity to do so, down on Front Street, to meet with some of the families, was more than sobering. It was an absolutely incredible experience. So I'm here to offer whatever we can possibly do today, next week, next month, in the years ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're going to introduce?
Thank you, Mayor Blangiardi. We'll call Mayor Roth up next, followed by Mayor Kawakami, and then Lieutenant Sylvia Luke.
Aloha. Having a chance to come out here has just been really surreal, and I think Mayor Blangiardi kind of hit some of the things. As I look back, I'm really proud to be serving with these other mayors, Mayor Bissen, Mayor Blangiardi, and Mayor Kawakami. I have to tell you that whenever we have something happen, they're on the phone calling up. So, Hawaiʻi Island, we've had a lot of things, and these guys have always offered their support, and we're happy to offer our support. As I think about this, and it doesn't matter if we're from Hawaiʻi Island, Kauai, Honolulu, we're all Maui. And, we had people that have been coming to help out. And I have to tell you, when our people come back, they're just always so thankful to have had the opportunity to have served and to help. We're one state, and I think we're so fortunate to have everybody pretty much on the same page and support, because that's who we are in Hawaii. Going out to Lahaina today, heartbreaking, I think is, that's a word that doesn't even cover the feelings felt out there. I had the opportunity to meet with a family that was actually from Hawaiʻi Island. The father was living here, and they were cleaning up what was left over from the father's house. And the thought that came to my mind was, is there anything you can find? And they had just a couple of small things, a little vase, some jewelry that had pretty much been melted down. There's no words to explain, just how devastating that must have been for them. I felt devastated. So, again, it's really an honor and a privilege to be out here. And we from Hawaiʻi Island, the people of Hawaiʻi Island, County of Hawaii, really do stand together with Maui. its mayor, and all of its people. Thank you.
You know, I consider the three mayors as sort of like brothers, like I belong to a brotherhood, and Mayor Bissen is definitely a brother that I look up to, and when one of us is hurting, we all hurt. You know, Hawaii is a special place where one island hurts, we all hurt. One island is mourning, we all mourn. And it's hard to find the words that will express what my heart is feeling being here today and seeing families. And all I can think about is I was 15 years old when Hurricane Iniki hit. And at that time I thought that Kauai was gonna be destroyed forever. And I guess my message is to our young people and our people of Maui that this is not the end of it, that all of us here from every island is here to support Maui, and that West Maui is not in it alone, and we'll be here for you folks until as long as we need to be here. You know, sometimes as leaders we struggle to figure out how to fix things, and this is a big challenge that I gotta say is gonna require the whole community to come together. And you know, as mayors, sometimes all we can do is be here to instill hope in people, to try to help uplift the community, even if it's not our community. I'm not from Maui, but I think right now all four of us, our heart is with Maui. And I can tell you the message from the people back at home on Kauai and Niihau is to tell you folks that they love you, that you're constantly in our prayers, and that we are here to help uplift this community. And we are a shoulder to cry on. We are a pair of ears that will listen. And we're here to give hugs when hugs are needed. And, you know, I want to thank Mayor Bissen and to all the partnering agencies as we drove around and took a look at the operations. I'm impressed at the amount of coordination, the amount of people that are coming from all over to help. Just this morning, there was a family from Utah that came to visit Maui and felt guilty about being here, so they're spending their vacation volunteering. And I think that's a testament to how much Maui means not only to Kauai and to the state of Hawaii, but to the entire world. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon and aloha. What you see here is coming together of all the mayors. This is the first time all the mayors have gathered on the island of Maui. That doesn't mean they haven't communicated from day one. They've been there as support, they've been there for each other, and it is my pleasure to join them today. You know, what you see here is great sense of responsibility, but at the same time, a great sense of aloha and love. What we always hear when I'm here on Maui, I hear about the winds of Lahaina. And as the press conference started, right before the press conference started, it was really muggy and it was hot. And as the mayor of Maui started speaking and all the mayors took turn speaking and coming to the podium, we feel the Lahaina winds coming through. And if you can just feel the presence around you, you feel this breeze just coming through and having this calm and having this serenity at this very moment. And as you feel it, it shows the amount of love and compassion that not just the mayors have with each other, but how much compassion and aloha that the people of Hawaii had for each other and continue to have for each other. Each of us knows somebody impacted. In fact, my husband's family, part of his family is from Maui, and they continue to have family members here on Maui, and each one of us knows somebody impacted. although the islands are divided by ocean, we are one island state. And as Mayor Kawakami said, when one island hurts, the entire state hurts. And every day, what we hear individually is, how do people continue to help? In as much as we want to continue to ask people for financial assistance or monetary assistance, people want to do more. People want to do more how they can impact small businesses, how they can impact family. Today, Mayor Bissen announced that November, he will have phase 2 and 3 of reopening. Coupled with that, we will be launching what's known as Kokua for Maui Month. Kokua for Maui Month will begin in November. November is generally the month of giving, and with the month of giving, with this website on Maui Nui First, it will have all the events that impact and help Maui vendors, Maui businesses, Maui's people, because ultimately it is about Maui's people, it's about Maui's heritage, it's about Maui's culture. Thanks to the generosity of every single one of the mayors here, they will be hosting, along with many of our partners, especially the Lahaina Town Action Committee, they will be hosting Maui vendor events on every single island. On Oahu, there will be an event at the Neo Blaisdell Center and also an event in Waikiki. Kauai will also be planning it, and Big Island will also be hosting Maui vendors. These events will be free of charge to the vendors. And what we want to do is feature Maui's people on all the islands and how the entire island, the entire nation can connect to Maui vendors, Maui's people. Thank you guys for everything that you folks have done. I would especially like to thank the mayor of Maui, Richard Bissen, for his leadership, his courage, his team, who has been working 24/7. Most of the days, sometimes they gotta sleep, but they have been working so hard, and they still have to continue to do Maui County function. In addition to that, they're picking up so many other duties. If it wasn't for the cooperation of every single one and the patience and aloha from the people of Maui, we would not have come this far. So mahalo. If you can go out to this website, this will be launched and active right after this press conference. We encourage you to go, and some of the things will be updated regularly as we announce more events. Mahalo.
Thank you, mayors and Lieutenant Governor. It was hard not to cry when you see so much help coming from across Hawaii. Anyway, we will proceed with Q&A from journalists, and as we usually do, we ask that you raise your hand, state your name and your outlet. We'll repeat the question for those at home watching on a live stream, and we'll ask the appropriate person to come up and help us respond to that. I see Chelsea, we'll go with you first.
Hi, yes, Chelsea Davis with Hawaii News Now. My question is for actually each of the mayors, if maybe they could come up one by one. They've all said they've provided some support since August 8th. How so? If you could give some examples, specific examples, and has any of the county provided financial support to Maui County?
Sure. The question is, what type of support has the different counties given? I do know personnel have come here, as well as commitments for fundraising events. We'll begin first with Mayor Blangiardi, followed the rest.
I mean, right from the initial part of it, we deployed quite a few firefighters, I think almost 4 dozen, plus a tactical command center group. We had our police here. We had EMS on standby, willing to come over. We certainly sent some of our communications team over. And other than that, we've just been on the spot, and anything that was requested of us has sort of been like that from that standpoint.
Yeah, I think from day one, August 8th, we had fires. Once we had our fires under control, we started a Maui task force when we brought a whole bunch of community members together, working on different issues, how they can support, how they can help fund Maui. As far as personnel, we've also sent a lot of personnel. I think the first people to come over were from our Humane Society, or excuse me, our animal control, to help out with animal control. We've had police come, I believe we had fire. Currently, we have our Director of Public Works assisting. We've also had some PIOs assisting as well. And I think there's other people. I've kind of lost count on who else has come and helped.
You know, in regards to disaster response, we're under FEMA's incident command system, and it's basically a standardized system so that different areas of the United States and, in fact, internationally can all help contribute and speak the same language and not create confusion and more disasters. So what we've done is we've sent our core members of our incident management team, some of the guys that I would consider our top guns when talking about disaster response from Kauai, to support Maui. And we're here in part to reaffirm our commitment to Mayor Bissen and to the people of Maui that we will always, Kauai County will always be there to support all of the other counties in their time of need, whether they need firefighters, police officers, our incident management team, communications, whatever it may be. We're always looking to be able to provide that. And I will tell you why, because every time Kauai has been through a disaster, every single one of these islands has been there right for us, and so we feel honored to return the favor.
I just want to fill in one little part of this. So in the HAIMA system, there's what they call RFAs, requests for assistance, and those usually get submitted. You say, I need a water buffalo. You say, I need more folks to help with search and rescue. I just wanted to tell you, before we even submitted the first RFA, these folks already sent their people over here, before we even sent the first RFA out. People that work in the EOC, in their own EOCs, people that work in their JIC, their Joint Information Centers. Before we even stood up a Joint Information Center, they sent over PIOs. Every single county did that, so.
Thank you, Mayor. Jeremy and then Paula. Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy Lee, PITV4. Many press outlets have been looking for the 2018 after-action report for the Lahaina fire that started in 2018 August under similar conditions. I'm wondering, county by county, is there anything that counties can do to compel agencies to release their after-actions so that they're shared county-wide or even beyond that? And is there anything that you have done for your counties that would ensure that after-action reports get passed on to another administration that's incoming so that we learn from the lessons of the past?
So the question from KITV is on the incidents we usually have after-action reports, also known as AARs. So the question is, with other counties, is there a process, a procedure for completing the AARs so that the incoming administration would have them, correct? We'll allow that?
Well, that's a great question, because from a leadership standpoint, there was a lot to learn from this. And so I can only tell you that our first method of operation was to conduct a risk assessment on Oahu. We've then, just last Friday, convened all of the various stakeholders, which if you've been to the mayor's conference room at Honolulu Hale, it's a big room. The room was packed with a lot of various stakeholders, and a collaborative effort to make sure that what happened here doesn't happen on our island, on Oahu, knowing full well it could. So the other part of that for us is we've also, in compliance and in conjunction, if you will, working with various media outlets, we've begun a statewide, really statewide because it's all statewide media, but certainly an educational program reminding people, because everybody has to be involved in this. You know, there's only so many firefighters, only so many policemen, only so many people elected in government that can do something about this, but certainly the prevention can be shared by the people who live together. So, you know, this is going to be ongoing. And I can tell you, after coming out of that meeting the other day, while I was encouraged in what I heard, what's in place, and what we've learned, there's still a lot more work to do. So you have an event like this, if you don't learn from it, as I told everybody in that room that day, more than shame on us. So it's just unfortunate that this becomes the teaching platform for us. But clearly, we have moved into a place now where we're going to try to make sure that this never happens again.
You know, that's an interesting question about sharing of after-action reports. I can tell you we've had a couple of big things this year, disasters, that we have brought everybody in the room. When in our EOC, we literally have everybody in the room. And I think that goes back to when Daryl was our incident commander. We have not only the county agencies, we have state agencies, DOT, DOFA, Volcanoes Park. We're talking about volcanoes and lava. We have HELCO or HECO, the gas company, all these people. What we do afterwards is we generally go through and talk about everything that has happened. Coming in, I don't know if there was anything that was specifically provided to me as mayor, and I don't know if any of these mayors got anything provided, but I had the good fortune of being able to be in the cabinet for the past 8 years before coming in as the mayor. And so I've seen how our EOC works and how everybody gets together. And so I had that, I guess, advantage coming in, but I will now look into if we're sharing those with other people. But there's a lot of lessons that we learned every time, and every time we try to get better. The other thing that happens is in between incidents, we're also preparing as well. And so for this incident, I can tell you that there was a red flag warning, and so the week before we were all briefed on the red flag warning, and we started making preparations to be prepared for that. And that was lessons learned from previous events.
Well, in regards to after-action reports, you know, if members of the public are wondering what would an after-action report is. Basically a play-by-play, our way of documenting an incident, how we responded. And people have to understand the reason why it's so important is because there are so many different partnering agencies, so many moving parts when it comes to responding to a disaster. And no two disasters are really the same. We've had flooding issues on Kauai. Of course, Maui had wildfires. Big Island has lava. And so what we try to do is we try to get these documents documented as they're happening so that we have a good playbook for the next mayor, so that we don't let history repeat itself. Now, as far as releasing the after-action report, look, I'm a firm believer as public servants, that is a document for the public. And there's only a few reasons why I think as mayor I would be prohibited. One, if I'm tied up in litigation. Believe me, there has been times where I would like to get my thoughts out of my mouth where pending litigation has me muzzled to protect our taxpayers from liability from lawsuits. And I think that's one of the things as mayor, it tears us up inside is what we want to do, what we want to say. Sometimes we are shackled because of the fear of litigation and what that would mean to our taxpayers. Thank you.
I cannot speak for any previous administrations, but what I can speak to is that after this happened, the four of us spoke. We try to meet monthly with each other. We also meet monthly with the governor, and we talk about a lot of things. Of course, this has been the topic of discussion. Our message was to try to see what they could do to not have this happen in their communities, in their counties. So I know those things are shared among ourselves. I don't know if I would call that an after-action report so much as a lesson learned on a few steps. So that much I can comment on.
We'll go to Paula. Paula? And then Andrew.
My question is for Mayor Bissen, and it's following up on the 2018 after-action report from Lahaina. That's the first part of the question. Could you clear up if there is one or if there isn't one? And if there is one, can you release it soon?
I can probably help with that.
And then the second question is, people are still wondering about what happened in the EOC the night of the fire. We're wondering when you plan to release the timeline of that EOC chain of events we understand is with Corporation Counsel, but you as the chief executive have the power to release it any time you want. So could you commit to releasing the EOC timeline as soon as possible?
Yeah, I think I can help with that since there's some interest on that one. Yeah, I'm going to help guide that first, Paula. So it's important to understand, just as Mayor Kawakami said, that there is a process and procedure for reviewing, including the request for the 2018 after action report, AR, from that fire in Lahaina. As you all know, this administration took office in January. So I thought Jeremy's question was interesting about the transfer of information. As far as the timeline for EOC, as Mayor has said, we've already offered some of that. I think the details of an EOC will come out as part of the after action report, as well as whatever our Corporation Counsel will permit with so much litigation going on. I'm sorry, that's the answer. I know you all want the details. It's pretty much mirroring what Mayor Kawakami has said. So we're going to be short on time. I would like to move to Andrew, and if there are other questions, while we have the mayors here, before they take off for the airport. Andrew, you had a question?
Andrew Gomes, our advertiser. For Mayor Bissen, regarding the phase 2 and 3 reopening for West Maui tourism, are there a certain number of hotels that are going to be exclusively used for residents, or will this be, hotels with a mix of displaced residents and visitors?
Sure. So the question is, as far as the hotels and the changing into the next phases, will they be consolidated? Is that your question? And how will we manage that in going into the next phase, Mayor?
So the hotels, they're on a contract with the Red Cross. And so right now, I believe we do have hotels that have a mix of visitors as well as employees, as well as female workers, National Guard, people that are here to assist with the recovery. So there is a mix. I think as of this past Friday, I didn't look at today's numbers, there were 36 hotels still involved with that. Eventually, the hope is to narrow that down as we find appropriate housing for our displaced and impacted families. We hope to consolidate that at some point.
We are headed for a time where we have to send our mayors to the airport. For those who have not asked a question, do you have any that we can entertain today? Okay, other than that, thank you all very much for coming. Appreciate the mayors here. Mayor, do you have any closing words, or Lieutenant Governor?
Sure, yeah, I just wanted to say a couple more things about the month of November. As you folks know, you're standing on the site that is usually the Maui Invitational Tournament during the week of Thanksgiving. Thanks to Mayor Blangiardi and the governor, and the lieutenant governor, that tournament will be played at the Stan Sheriff Center with a commitment that they'll return to Maui in 2024. Also, they are also assisting that the Maui Invitational is also doing some of the vendors that the lieutenant governor talked about. They will be hosting some of those vendors at that. They also hope to host some of the families, some of the first responders, some of the high school basketball teams from Maui, in particular Lahaina Luna, at that 3-day tournament sometime throughout the tournament. So our thanks to the Maui Invitational Tournament for that commitment. The Council of Native Hawaiian Advancement, CNHA, normally holds their conference on Oahu. You folks already know this is not new news, but just a reminder, they will be holding that here on Maui. And so we're grateful for that, for the attention that will bring to us. There's a wine and food festival that will also be held on Maui that is normally not held here. So that's all going to happen in the month of November. I just wanted to close with a thanks to the mayors, not only for today, but for their commitment to host some of our vendors on their respective islands throughout the month of November. Again, to assist all of those that do not have the customer base or the location that they once had, and everyone recognizing that, especially the lieutenant governor, whose idea all of this was to begin with, has opened that venue and allowed that to happen. So we're very grateful on behalf of our citizens of Maui for that opportunity. Thank you very much, everyone.